Good morning, everybody. Thank you for anybody that's hopping on. I do apologize about not doing it yesterday. Just got a little caught up on some of the projects, but it is a beautiful sunny day. I don't know if you can see it, a little bit of glare, but we're going to close that up. We have, of course, sitting on beautiful San Diego on the Mission Bay. Today, we are going to be discussing the two main projects that I did in the Mystery Machine are creating my Mystery Machine 2 Electric Boogaloo. The two main things were the paint and then the flooring. So we're going to dive into that. But before we do, here we start off with a little smoke chest together. You know, everybody's do your own thing, but I like to start off with a wake and bake. And so I figure we can start that off together. I wish I had a cup of coffee with me right now, but um, little progresses at a time, and so soon I'll have a coffee machine in here. Right now, I am smoking on Purple Push Pop from Autumn. It's a new brand that we're trying out at our shop, so giving them a test out. I really enjoy it. Honestly, it's a quarter for I think it would go between like 50 to 60, and it's a nice like indica, hybrid indica, good chiller. Unfortunately, I finished off that Tropicana just a few days ago. But all right, we're gonna get started. All right, so I hope everybody has a great day. Let's start off with a little wake and bake together. Mm, it is tasty. It's like a kind of berry at the beginning and then a little citrus undertones. Really, really nice. Just gives a nice mellow, little tingling behind the eyes, and then just curls back through the through the back. But let's get into the main projects today. Today, I am pulling out the receipts to tell you guys how much it costs to renovate, um, how much it costs for the paint and the flooring. Those were the two main projects. Uh, the paint is what really brought it into the vision of the Mystery Machine. And the reason I chose those was actually because of a rug. As I told you guys last week, I used to be a part of a show called Cannabis Synergy. It was a cannabis live action show. And when that kind of fizzled out and we started to do our more own things online or after COVID and regroup, Joanne was clearing out her studio and she had this one rug called a solo solid shag carpet or rug. Solo solid shag. And I was like, well, I mean, one, it's like this nice blue teal color. And I was like, I want this to be in the flooring for my Mystery Machine. Whenever I get it, it's going to be probably another few years, but whenever I get it, I want this rug to be in the flooring. So I took that rug around with me to multiple apartments that I had to move and just had it ready. And I was like, this is going to go in the Mystery Machine. Well, plans change. Honestly, I was so determined. I carried around that rug for 3 years and I still have it. It's underneath the RV and it's going to be used for like outdoor events and things like that. Uh, but once we like started the painting and everything, and we tried to match it to the carpet, all the painting was to match that carpet and to have it be a important piece of the Mystery Machine. I wanted when people come in, they felt like they were in an old 70s like kind of Mystery Machine, like the cartoon and everything. But I realized like things change, visions change, and also you don't. I'm not the true Shaggy. The true Shaggy was a cartoon and everything, but I'm Shagwellin, and so I'm my version of Shaggy, the stoner version, which was what he was portraying, but never like wasn't talked about. It was little eggshells of Shaggy being our first stoner experience, so the Mystery Machine 2 is going to be a little different. But I wanted that rug to be a part of it, and so when we started the painting, I went to Sherman Williams. Shout out them. They've helped me out so much. The one in Pacific Beach, but there's also um, I got hooked up through a old coworker, Frank. So shout out Frank. Thank you so much. Who helped me get the paint and get a discount on it and everything. I and so it was fantastic. And so we went with the Gulfstream. That's Gulfstream. I'll have that at the bottom for you. Get live. Can't edit. So, but I will show you what it looked like before we started to do the colors. So, oh, there's getting used to this. All right. So I'm going to share with you guys what it was before we had the mystery machines. So, should be sharing this tab, I believe. Yep. All right. So ignore all the little stuff, but this is what the whole thing really looked like. It was torn to shit. The people that I bought it from, they had, I think they said they had like three or four pit bull puppies living here at one point. So I had to do quite a bit of work, but this whole area, this is the studio, this is where it was. So it was just nothing, just completely bare, just gray, white. You can kind of see the carpet I had at the bottom. So what I added to, so right here at the bottom right, that's the color that I was going with. And then a bigger show. Okay. Then I'm going to show you the next part, which was more the entire like living room area. And so, yep, that's going to be this guy. And so you can see where I'm sitting now, just completely bare. The flooring is just this like gray wood. And so it's just something I knew I was going to have to replace all of this eventually. And the transformation, I mean, I just had to take a quick pause because seeing this again to compared to what it is now is just 100 times better. And so I'm really happy about it. Um, so we went with the Gulfstream blue, and it was to match that rug at the beginning. But the orange, that's the one thing that has kind of changed up throughout. Is so we started with a paint can, and total in paint for how much I spent so far. It was I edited it all up together, and it came out to um $293.68. That is luckily with a discount. There are a bunch of deals and times that they'll be doing discounts at Sherwin Williams, but along with the paint, that is a lot of paintbrushes, masking tape. Also, the orange, like I was saying, is we went with one at first when we were painting. And so if you actually go along like some of the trim, it'll be a tiny shade darker. And then we got a can of the OSHA spray paint, the OSHA orange spray paint. And that stuff was actually exactly the color we wanted. So we couldn't find a paint can for it. So we had to buy about 10 to 12 cans of spray paint. But that was to do all the trim, to do the doors, to do the fridge, all the cabinets above me are all orange, and it's in that OSHA orange. And then I went and got a can the other day, and I was about to just hit up the little spots, and unfortunately, it was a little off. So I had to figure a way to get that OSHA orange in a can so I can just touch up little areas. Um, but between the Gulfstream and the OSHA and everything, it cost just under $300 so far for the paint. And I'm almost done. That is only the paint on the inside, though. However, I will have to take it's going to cost quite a bit to get the paint on the outside, and it'll just find a day of going to a warehouse, going out camping somewhere, and going with a few buddies and just prepping because painting the RV will be the easy part. It's all the prep, the sanding, the sanding everything down, washing everything down. It is a big process, and that's what we've had to do with everything. Before you painted it, we had to give it a nice sanding, and then you wash it down with just a little soap water or a little like rubbing alcohol or something like that. And process of it has taken quite a bit. The process of the painting has been the biggest process. It's probably taken, you add up every single day that we've done, you're looking about 2 weeks of painting, roughly a week and a half, and we still have a little bit more to do. The So that was probably the biggest project that it was, but the flooring was actually a little bit easier, and it was easier to decide. So the paint was me choosing, me picking, me deciding like what I wanted, how it was going to look and everything. But the flooring was actually gifted into my lap by the people I bought this RV from. So when I bought the RV, the people that I bought it from, they said, "Hey, we do have some flooring," and showed me they had about 3 boxes of flooring underneath the RV. And they said, "We just never got time to do it." I was like, "Don't worry, I'm going to get time." And so we used the 3 boxes of wood, or of flooring. It was a check. It's a QS 100 Glenwood oak, and they're really nice panels that just kind of slip into place. They already have a sticky material underneath, so you can, once you get it in, you just have to place it and then slide it in. Luckily, I did have somebody that knew what they were doing, so the angles, the cuts, things like that was very helpful because he is a contractor. Shout out Jay. I will put his link so you can, if you are in the SoCal or San Diego area, if you wanted to hire him to help you along with some projects. He is a fantastic person, and I couldn't have done any of this stuff without him. Um, he's hooked me up with a good deal, but what's great is I get to do it alongside him. So it's done correctly the first time. It's done a little bit cheaper than it would having somebody do it. And I also get to learn alongside. So now I know how to do these projects myself. But the biggest thing I would advise to anybody that's doing flooring is you do not want boards side by side lined up perfectly. You want them offsetting when you're doing them because then there's not a weak point near each other. So like when you have them connect, you don't want all the lines to connect perfectly around because then it'll actually give you weak points in your flooring. And so you want to stagger them. While you're doing it. So that's just my big piece of advice that I wouldn't have thought of because I figured it'd be easy just to line them up, just place it from there and then cut. But that's one thing he really taught me is about learning where the weak points are in the wood and how you need to connect it. So that way it's one big beautiful piece instead of a bunch of stagger or like crazy pieces, and it's also not weaker in certain spots. The wood, after we used the 3.5 boxes, I did have to go buy another 4 boxes of flooring. The 3.5 boxes covered from the front to the end of the kitchen, so right before the shower. And so to do the rest, I did have to go buy 4 more boxes. And that came out to $163.75. Um, and so if you see, show you guys the flooring again beforehand compared to now, it is just night and day. And that's what kind of got me to remove the carpet. And I was so determined on that solo shag rug is that, um, once I saw, so yeah, so here you can see the flooring and everything. So once we replaced that, I didn't need the rug anymore. And so and it was covering up this beautiful floor. So I had to change it, and so the rug is underneath. And that's what started everything. The rug was going to be the main part of the Mystery Machine. And just like that, I changed it and took it out because you have to have an idea, you have to have a vision when creating these, but you also have to be flexible. And sometimes you're going to be so set on this is the way I want to do it, and then you're just going to look at it while you're doing it and completely change. So it went from the flooring that you guys just saw to now here's the flooring in here. So this was just right after we finished the rest of the flooring. You can just see the difference. I mean, one, it's way glossier, way easier to clean. There's not certain boards popping up, which made when I did the Swiffer, it would get caught on those. This is now just so easy to clean. It's one big sweep and then one big Swiffer, and the floors are done. And so the last part of carpeting I need about is by the front side, and we're gonna get like a rubber mat that'll go between the driver's seats and stuff. So I don't have any more carpet in that. But you can just tell the difference of and $163 plus 300, so you're looking at just under $500 worth of work, which is quite a bit, but it turned out almost exactly how I wanted it. And I'm so happy, and I won't have to change it for years and years. So it might have cost a little bit up front and it might have been a lot of work, but I highly recommend anybody wanting to do a new project. It could be in an RV, it could be in your house, your apartment, whatever it is. Um, a can of paint can really, really go a long way. And so if you're looking at changing things up, maybe you just need like a fresh coat of paint or something new, new floorings, very easy projects. Just take your time with any of this. There's no reason to rush. If there's something you need done, handle it priority. When I had a leaking, like we made sure that we got that done, and that was like put ahead of other things. But most of the time, just take your project and take your time and figure out how you want to do it so that way it's done correctly and you won't have to redo it. So I really hope I want to thank anybody that did hop in the stream or will be hopping in after. I hope this helps anybody that has been looking at getting an RV. It was an adjustment at first, but I really, really love it and I highly recommend it. And soon you'll be seeing the Mystery Machine 2 driving around not only San Diego, but to a city near you. Um, and I will be starting interviews next week. So next week I get to interview Namaste or Ame, who is my accountant. It takes a team to create things like this, to build things like this. And so I just want to thank friends that have become a part of the team. And so that's interviewing Ame, talking about what she does. And also big projects that she might have coming up and things that she wants to discuss. So I really appreciate it. Next week I will be on Monday at 4:20 and Tuesday at 4:20. This was just a little hiccup, but I might start doing more random little streams throughout as well. So let's have a nice send off, and I hope everybody has a great day and a happy 420.